Bump, bump,
Bump.
ba-da-da, bump, bump. Hey, everybody, welcome. It is a Tuesday morning. Welcome
Parker
to another
Bell.
edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I am Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman. And down there is Graham Pauly. I mean Parker Bell. Yeah. In case you are unaware, which you probably are unaware, last night as we were watching the Dodger game, Dodgers against the Marlins, the Dodgers get a 7-6 win in 10 innings. Midway through the game, a tweet pops up in the chat, or a text pops up in the group chat saying Graham Parker equals Pauly Bell. Wait, Graham Pauly equals Parker Bell. This is what kind of morning it is right now, folks. So bear with us a little bit.
Well, you know what makes it even better? Producer Graham, you're working on that picture for Graham Pauly, correct?
Yes.
So we
will post this. We'll post a side-by-side of Marlins infielder Graham Pauly, who is very much the spitting image of our own Parker Bell. But happy Tuesday, guys. It was stressful, but it was a win, Greg, and I guess that's the important part.
That is the important part, but also everyone's messing up everywhere. Last night, I was tweeting out nonsense because everything I said was completely wrong. I tweeted out that they were playing the Florida Marlins, not the Miami Marlins, and that I didn't know anybody on that team, which is still very, very true. And then I said, "Thank you, Tommy Tanks, and for letting me go to sleep on a random Tuesday night in April." It was Monday. So there's just a lot of we're just messing up all over the place. But yes, it is very much just they got the win. Like the Marlins are a really bad team, and they should have never gone that far. But that game it just didn't seem like they cared very much because that team shouldn't even be playing baseball. There's 3 teams in baseball that shouldn't be playing: the Chicago White Sox, the Colorado Rockies, and the Florida Marlins. It's just nonsense.
Rockies are on pace for 20 wins, guys. 20 wins. You know, but the thing about this Marlins team, though, I mean, yeah, one Bonda blunder, which we'll get into. You mentioned, Greg, it looked like they were kind of going through the motions. I could tell Dustin May cared, though. And I know, Marcus, we're going to talk a lot about May because during that blunder, I saw his face just absolutely sink. So I'm going to be excited to kind of get into that. And I know we're going to talk a lot of bullpen. But it was an interesting game, to say the least. I think there's a lot we're going to get into this episode.
Absolutely. And before we get into it, though, I want to give a shout out to the folks at LAX who are transforming the travel experience, trying to save guests time. The People Mover train coming early next year as well, which will only help getting in and out of LAX. So for more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. All right, let's start, Greg. Let's start with Dustin May, right? Who, by the way, the Dodgers have a lot of pitchers who are very visibly emotional on the mound. I mean, Alex Vesia is one for a lot of facial expressions and fist pumps. Dustin May is another. Like when Dustin May gives up a home run, you know it off the bat. He tends to be very reactive to that. And to Parker's point, it started off pretty well for Dustin May, but as things went on, he got into the 6th inning, got into a little bit of trouble. I guess overall, your thoughts, though, on Dustin May, it felt like kind of a nice rebound from what we saw from him in Chicago.
Yeah, it was a nice rebound. He's playing a really terrible team that doesn't deserve to be playing baseball like we were just talking about. But, yeah, like the problem that – not even the problem, and they were talking about it on the broadcast. Eric Karros talked a lot about it on the broadcast that he's not getting a lot of swing and miss, and he still didn't get that same swing and miss that he was getting earlier in the season. But he was getting all the contact was because the Marlins were so aggressive and they were hitting. They were swinging at the very first pitch, or they were swinging, so it kept his pitch count low. But he was just getting all those outs very quickly and not a lot of swing and miss out of it. So that, if you want anything that is kind of concerning, that is concerning, that not getting swing and miss against a team like the Marlins. But I thought that, look, Dustin May is going to be just fine. He only gave up 5 hits. He's still not giving up very much when he does. He did walk a couple guys and, like you said, got in trouble in that 6th inning. But his face just absolutely dropped when Anthony Bonda gave up that home run, because all you could see in his face is like, you took away my win. You took away my ERA is skyrocketing. He's thinking about all the things that are going on wrong. It was just so disappointing. Bonda came in and it was like hit, grand slam, woo, all right. Like, it was just brutal, man.
Well, it's wild. I mean, Graham, I'll give you a second. But what's wild about that is you talk about the Graham. I keep
there's a Graham in the back.
There's a Graham in the back. We're talking about Graham Pauley. It's a whole thing, right? I promise I'm going to figure this out.
I just accepted it. I didn't even slide yet. Okay.
There it is. There's Graham Pauley alongside Parker Bell. It's like he could be your big brother or something like that, man.
In his Padre days. I'm probably 3 years older than him, too.
Are you really? Okay, well, there you go. But to your point, Greg, the Marlins were super aggressive, yet for whatever reason, when Bonda came in, they found some patience. I mean, the home run, the grand slam he gave up was on a 3-1 pitch. They just decided to wait him out, and then finally, they caught one, and that's what helped tie the ball game. But I mean, Graham, it just I don't know. It was alternately good early. They scored, then they give up all the runs, and then at the end, it's great. It just was kind of a frustrating night, I think.
Frustrating is probably the best way to put it, because the offense, I want to say finally, but I know that they've been doing decent. It was great to see guys like Miguel step up, Andy to continue his hot streak. It was just really cool to be like, okay, yeah, this is going to be one of those games where they're beating a team they need to beat. And then, of course, that moment happened. And we mentioned Dustin's face. I mean, he's already kind of, I can say, I'm pretty fair skinned myself. We turn to different colors when you see different emotions. And you could just tell he went completely white like a ghost. It was, I think, frustrating. But at the same time, I came away with this game, at least May. I know we're going to get into other topics. With May, I came away positive because we saw a game before where he gave up, was it 7 earned?
Yeah, 7. Mm-hmm.
He found his rhythm today. Yesterday. I know that, like you said, Greg, there were some walks here and there, but I think that we're seeing May average out to what we're going to see throughout the season, where maybe we'll get some of those where it's just not there that day. But when he is there, he's striking out dudes on pitches where it's hitting them.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, so I think, look, I take this as a positive step, right? He rebounded from a really awful start.
Yep.
And he ends up getting charged with 3 runs in 5 1/3 innings. But that was kind of because Anthony Bonda came in and let him down a little bit. I mean, to that point, though, Greg, and I saw in the chat, people suggested that Bonda maybe is on the struggle bus a little bit this year compared to where he was last year. I mean, kind of going back and looking at his game logs, he gave up the 2 runs yesterday. Before that, though, he was getting into trouble. He's had guys on base, but Greg, he hasn't really been giving up runs.
No, he hasn't, but he's not the same guy he was last year. But that's going to happen with most bullpens. That's guys that how they pitched the year before in the bullpen are never really the same guy through the entire year the next year. That's why I say it over and over again. I don't know. It's just it's my thing. Your bullpen at the beginning of the year is not your bullpen at the end of the year because of those types of things. You can go into the season with as many great arms in that bullpen. Half of them are not going to be pitching towards the end of the year. You just hope that the ones that you are relying on are the ones that you can rely on down the stretch and in the postseason. Bonda, as a lefty, could very well be one of those guys with Vezina. If he struggles now and goes on an IL and figures it out in the middle of the season, I will not be surprised. There's some. He's not going on the IL right now. I'm just saying if he continues to struggle. But yeah, these games are going to happen. This is baseball. The Florida Marlins don't belong on a field, yet they're still taking Dodgers who have a $400 million higher payroll than them to extra innings. Those are the types of things that happen. Just you catch one sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, over the course of 162, you're going to have teams that are not as good as you that just find it on a particular day. And certainly the Marlins found it in that 6th inning where they scored 5 runs, tied the ball game. Dodgers ended up getting the win not late in the extra innings with Tommy Edman driving in a pair of runs on his day off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I'm sure you've seen the movie Clerks, Greg. I'm not even supposed to be here.
It was
today.
my day off.
I was not even supposed to be here today. I mean, that was Tommy Edman. He steps up and drives in a couple of runs in that one. On the offensive side, right? You mentioned Andy Pages, another decent night at the plate. He gets a hit. He scores a couple of runs. He gets a walk, finds his way on base. Max Muncy with 2 hits. I think we rejoice a little bit, right? Greg, we can clap it up for Max Muncy getting 2 hits in a ball game.
Absolutely. That was 2 hits. And also he had a couple of other, I really tried to pay attention to Max Muncy's at bats specifically, just because I figured we'd be talking about him today. He was taking them deeper. He was being a little more patient. He did get the 2 hits. I thought there was a couple times though where he got to 3-1 and he just swung at a pitch that was super high. And that was like you were being so patient in the at bat, and then decided that I'm gonna get this one and go for it. I think he's still a little bit too aggressive in spots that he probably shouldn't. And then when he gets to 3-2, you basically know that he's going to swing at whatever you throw at him for the most part. So he's still struggling, but I'd love seeing him getting a couple of hits, taking more pitches. Look, we're going to take a lot of time with Max Muncy. I know people get upset with him. Max Muncy is going to be here for a long time and probably throughout this entire season. So we have to be patient with him. And I think the Dodgers are doing just that, Parker. Or Graham, sorry.
Yeah. Graham, can we change my my name down below? Yeah, it's actually Graham Paul. So another point to Muncy is that even on that swing, I know that one at bat where it was, I think, 3-0, and he had the major league pop-up, as the announcers call it. It was still like 110 off the bat. So while we maybe didn't need that swing, especially on a 3-0, it is nice to know that pops there, because the exit velo wasn't there as early on in the season. So Muncy showing positive signs, big things. Teoscar, Marcus,
another big hit. Yeah,
takes over the lead for home runs on the team. Another big hit. Interesting game though for Teoscar. A couple strikeouts and big moments. Marcus, what you see from our boy Teo?
Yeah, I mean, I do think this is sort of part of the Teoscar Hernandez experience, though, right? I mean, he gives you the big home run, which was a big spot in the game. But yeah, he comes up late. Was it the 9th inning? I think it was. Strikes out on a pitch that was nowhere near the zone. Like I don't know that fastball was ever going to be a strike, and he went out chasing it, probably just trying to do too much in that situation. But I'm fine with Teoscar Hernandez right now. You mentioned he has the lead in home runs on the ball club. He's among the NL leaders in homers, RBIs, like all that kind of stuff. So he's producing, I think, the way that people expected him to. He's sort of on par with where he was last year. So generally speaking, I'm fine with him. He's hitting in that cleanup spot. He's kind of got it locked down. Will Smith had another hit, had a couple of really nice at bats, even though he had the one hit. So 1 through 5, I have no problems with. I feel like everything is going according to plan with the top 5 guys in the batting order. It's sort of that bottom part, right? It's 6 through 9 where things starting to get a little bit wonky, which I guess, Greg, brings us back to your guy, Michael Conforto. An 0 for 5. He ends up scoring the run, the tying run, I guess, on the Edmonds single, because he was the automatic runner on second base. Right. But I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing to hold on to from his at bats. Like you watch him, and he's not making hard contact. You mentioned he's just kind of beating the ball into the ground. You almost just wonder at some point he just needs a couple of days off, if nothing else. There's got to be something else. It seems counterproductive to keep running him out there every single day.
Very counterproductive. And not only did you see that he was using a torpedo bat? Like he's got to the point that he wanted to use a torpedo bat in that game. So the torpedo bat, he did have a fly out at one point, so he didn't beat it into the ground. He actually popped it into the air. So that was a positive step forward for Michael Conforto. But if that's what we're saying is a positive step forward, that's a problem. The guy needs multiple days off. He needs to just sit, let other guys take their time. He's not helping this lineup. And this fact that they're still putting him in that 6th spot is what is shocking to me. I mean, it's consistently, you talked about how you love that 1 through 5. So do I, of course. But then when you have Conforto come up and do absolutely nothing, it's very difficult to watch over and over again. Like this, he doesn't seem to have anything that is saying, I'm getting better. I'm figuring out my at bats. There's nothing about, and also people were talking about how much he's a big OBP guy. He was having like a 386 OBP. Do you know where it is now? Does anybody have an idea where it is now?
I think he's like 303, right? I'm
303. You could, that's fine. 303. Like he's about to drop below 300. 325, 350. You want to be around, you at least want to be towards that 350 mark. He's at 303. There's nothing about him that's good. He needs to go sit and figure something out and go work with Robert Van Scoyoc or whatever it is. But because he is a blight on this entire lineup. This is why he is my villain. And if he figures it all out in the middle of July, awesome. I'll be ecstatic. But at the same time, there's nothing about him that is exciting to me.
I mean, Graham, Parker, Greg mentioned this yesterday, and I'm like, Greg suggested yesterday that maybe Chris Taylor should start to get some of those innings in left field, which is a statement that I don't think any of us thought we'd be even considering, when the season started. But I mean, at this point, I feel like it can't be any worse, right? If you put Chris Taylor out there, maybe he runs into a couple and gets you something offensively with his team.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor has actually put up decent at-bats this season. I mean, I know it's not, of course, we know where he is, and we know where he is in his career. But what you're getting from Conforto is just absolutely sad. I mean, I think he's in maybe the 75th percentile of chase rate. And then on top of that, batting average is in like the low 10 percentile. So it's insane because since Greg called Conforto his villain, I have a fun stat here. Average 119, 5 hits, 7 runs. He has 14 Ks, and his OBP is even worse than that 303 number you mentioned, Marcus. It's 245.
I didn't think it was that good.
So, Greg, you're
I'm shocked by the 5 hits. Honestly, I'm surprised that he has those 5 hits in there.
Yeah,
a couple little bloops here and there, but I mean, 5 hits. Hey,
and it just because it fell off a cliff. I mean, Greg, like he started the season really hot, had a couple of big home runs, swung a good bat in Japan. Maybe he's got to go back. Maybe he's got to go back to Tokyo and just cruise the Shibuya district or something like that. Figure something out because since he's come back stateside, it just seems to have completely fallen apart for him.
He's just, I was never a fan of this signing, and I'm still not a fan of this signing. The fact that we're even thinking about clamoring for Chris Taylor to get at bats, that's obviously a huge problem. But Marcus, look at the rest of the bottom of the lineup. Over the last few games, yes, as Clint pointed out yesterday, it was against the Pirates, and now this is against the Marlins. The bottom of the lineup has been getting hits. Max Muncy has he had a hit yesterday. He had a couple hits, or 2 days ago. He had a couple hits last night. Rojas had 3 hits, including a bunt hit that was up the left side.
It was a beautiful
he was 3 for 3.
Beautiful bunt.
And and he's batting over 300 over his last I think it was 10 games, something like that. So he's starting to pick it up. The bottom of the lineup is starting to get hits, and it's moving into things that are at the top of the order. So it's really just Conforto at this point. Yeah, you're still going to get bad at-bats from Max Muncy. Yeah, you're still going to get bad at-bats from Kike Hernandez, but at least Kike has some power behind him,
Yeah, I just, it's so drastically different how we're talking about Max Muncy versus how we're talking about Michael Conforto. Like one of them, it seems like there's progress, right? With Max Muncy, it just seems like Conforto right now is, I don't know if he's hit rock bottom yet, but he's certainly on his way down that way. The way things are going. Other big news for the Dodgers that we knew was coming yesterday, but was made official. Tyler Glasnow is on the 15-day disabled list. Was described as having whole body soreness, which is what I'd say about myself after I spend a day with the kid at Disneyland, walking around. I just wake up the next morning and I have whole body soreness. I don't really know what to say about it. Parker. I don't know what to say about Tyler Glasnow at this point, other than, I guess we just wait and we hope he comes back to some reasonable amount of health. But I know that the entire fan base is just frustrated with what we've seen from him lately.
Yeah, it's just it's almost speechless. If I was Sedano, I'd have a Sedano Psy 8:49 Tuesday, April 29th. It's one of those things where I saw in the chat, I think this was Laura. Yeah, Laura in the chat saying, I can't believe the Dodgers need to have a bullpen game in April, multiple bullpen games.
This is like their third or fourth one.
Yes. So I agree with her sentiment. We have 2 guys, and of course, Snell is close to coming back. We'll have more updates in later episodes here. But Glasnow, Greg, you guys talked about it all yesterday and in a few other episodes. at this point, there's not much more to say. The guy is just, I mean, I don't even know. Baby Giraffe was his nickname, was it, when he was coming up in the league? I think he's stayed a baby giraffe. Like he has not improved when it comes to health, and I don't think he ever will.
I just really think it's all mental, Marcus. I can't imagine that he's not able to pitch through really anything whatsoever. Any slight little misstep, and he's like, I just can't do it. I can't go out there. It's not. I understand if your shoulder was sore like that, you don't want to throw like that. And I understand I was understanding when his feet were, like he couldn't get his footing because your foot is sliding. But then when it became the calves, both calves were tensing up so he couldn't pitch. I get the reasoning why you're coming out, but at the same time, 3 consecutive outings that you're coming out because one slight little thing gets wrong. Hey, how about in between innings, have somebody work it out, move your calves around, figure something out, because you got to have a little bit more mental fortitude and get out there and pitch. It's just super disappointing because he has such great stuff, and I know he can when he's healthy. I don't know, I hate saying when he's healthy, but when he's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's one of the best pitchers on this team. He's an ace, and you just can't get anything out of him. I'd rather have it now than in October. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the upside there. I think what makes it worse for the fans, and probably I would imagine for the team too, is that it's just happened in consecutive starts, right? It's one thing of hey, you have something that happens in April, and then you get to early June and something else happens, and then it's mid-July and another thing happens. Okay, over a long season, you get little bumps and bruises and knocks or whatever, but for 3 starts in a row, there's something going on with Tyler Glasnow. It's really frustrating. And now there's a serious conversation that Ben Casparius could take over a slot in the starting rotation. This is expected to be a bullpen game today against the Marlins. I would assume, guys, it's going to be Casparius that opens things up for this team. Or when was the last time he pitched?
He just pitched a couple days ago for 3 innings. Yeah, it was the Glasnow. It was the Glasnow outing.
That's right. When Glasnow left after the first inning. You're right.
He's probably out before. I mean, I guess he could kind of pitch, but I don't know. I don't know if we want that. You want him to be stretched out a little bit, so probably not.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. It probably won't be. So I'm scrolling to see
who could it be,
who might be,
and it's against Sandy Alcantara, who hasn't been good this year, by the way, but still has nasty stuff when he's on.
Yeah, I don't know who it might be against the start. They haven't called up Justin Wrobleski, so unless somehow
nobody wants that.
He's on the plane.
They're gonna go Noah Davis for 4. I mean, this
Dryer
maybe.
Dryer can go probably 2 or 3. Yeah, I mean, but even that's you're pushing a little bit.
Tony Gonsolin, please come back soon. I know that he's
tomorrow.
Expectedly. Yeah, there you go. So we get Tony. We get the Catman back, which is going to be a big plus. So but pitching issues already raising its ugly head. Hopefully that they can work things out. Again, they got from now till basically, I'd say, late August, early September to kind of get these things worked out to get ready to go into October and see what happens from there. Real quick about Blake Snell. I mean, there's no clarity on Blake Snell.
Yes,
correct?
Still not cleared to throw again as of yesterday. He was with the team. Obviously, he was celebrating during that walk-off, but without the clarity that he's cleared to throw. I mean, he had an injection in his shoulder, so I guess that's all we're getting so far. Greg,
we'll see, because the last time he pitched, they stopped him. They didn't let him do another bullpen because they were just having that soreness. So hopefully that shot to the arm will help it out. Yeah, anytime you just can't believe anything that anybody says in the organization because they're only going to tell you what they want to tell us. So, I mean, whole body soreness for Tyler Glasnow could mean a lot of different things. Like when I'm sick, I have whole body soreness. Like you walk around and you have the flu and you're like, ooh, I'm sore everywhere. I don't think that's this. I think that he really feels like every part of my body is sore. So, so Blake Snell, I think he hopefully he'll be back soon, but really I prefer Snell to wait as long as it possibly takes. It doesn't matter right now. They're one game back from the best record in baseball.
For sure.
Legitimately one. They're 19-10, and the Mets are 20-19. So despite all of these issues and all these things, it's tough to watch on a day in and day out basis, but the numbers are still there.
Yeah, I don't know how we can make up one game and 140 some odd games left. I just don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know.
Thank you, John Kruk.
Anyway, it's about time for us to get out of here. I did see one question from Tien in the chat. What's the concern level of Mookie Betts? Next to 0. It's Mookie Betts. He'll figure it out. He's having good at bats. He had a couple of good at bats the last couple of days. Maybe some loud outs, but hard contact. Not concerned at all with Mookie. So
yeah, we can talk more about it tomorrow.
Absolutely. We can talk some more about it tomorrow. We'll be back to recap what happens tonight at Dodger Stadium. Bullpen versus Sandy Alcantara. Meanwhile, for Graham Bell or Parker Pauly or whatever we're going to call him from now, we got Greg Bergman. I'm Marcus Grant. Thanks to LAX. Thanks to all of you in the chat. Stick around. Travis and DeMarco coming up. Stick here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel and then check in with us tomorrow, 8:30 to 8:55 here on the Blue Review. We'll see you then.
Lit Tuesday.